So for today's training, we have one of our amazing. He started in this training, I think 2 years ago. He was a trainee. He became a trainer and a mentor for last year. This year, he's coming in the capacity now of um, a trainer for phase two. So he has really done a lot of things around, though he's still pretty young, but he's very, very smart. I've worked with him for a while and I can tell you he has a lot that he has learned and a lot that he wants to, share with us here as regards specifically debugging and error logs. So there are a lot of times which you will experience this like every single day, every single minute in your code where you will write something and you're asking yourself, why does it not work? Maybe you miss a single quote, maybe you spelled a variable wrongly, maybe you're trying to access something. I don't want to talk about what it's going to do, but what Cyril, sorry, rather engineer Cyril, because it's a software engineer, what he's going to be showing us today, or what he's going to be sharing us today, is some few tricks and tips on how you can be able to effectively debug your work, effectively find errors, so that you don't lose your mind in the process of coding. And we are not focused here on going to use AI, because a lot of times when you have small error, you copy and go and drop it on ChatGPT. No. Once you start doing that from the start, you will not learn the core concepts. So I'm going to shut up now. And with us sending some beautiful, nice emojis that I'm going to see on the screen, we'll put our hands together for Engineer Nkwi, Cyril, and Kinibon. Cyril, over to you.
Hello guys. Hey, that was too much, oh. It's too much. Oh, please.
I've hyped you so much that they cannot just wait. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello guys. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And it's sincerely an honor to be able to take you guys on this session. Right? Like you said, I've been part of the TC bootcamp, both as a trainee and also as a co-trainer. And sincerely, it has been really amazing. I've been able to meet amazing people, be able to work with amazing people, and it's still a long way to go. I'm happy that you guys have taken this bold step to be able to learn this journey of learning, and I hope that this session is also going to be a stepping stone as to become pros in React and React Native. So without further ado, let me just start. I've already taken a lot of time because internet, I don't just understand what happened, but Cameroon has its ways. I don't know what happened. I was not getting anything. I was not getting more. So I will present my screen now. Let me present my screen. Can you see my screen? Wait, I've not even. Let me press that present button. Okay. Okay.
Yes, we can see your
Great.
screen.
Let me present now. Yes. Okay, are we there? Are we there? Thumbs up, or laugh, laugh. If you are there, please laugh. Laughing emoji. Okay. All right, nice, nice. So, like I said, my name, let me start with the topic, the main thing now. So welcome to the React Native Bootcamp. Welcome to this session on debugging and error management in React. And my name is Cyril. I never even put my name there, but my face is important though. So I'm a software engineer and a graduate from Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Boya. I'm a lead backend engineer, backend developer at Involve. That's one of our workings, our doings, our working in Boya here. And I'm a part-time developer at Tech Chantier, currently working with my boss, sir. And I'm into full stack development, PHP, Laravel. I develop in backend, Next.js developer. And currently I'm into content creation. I do some content, you know, understand. And I have a viral video, my first viral video since I started this content creation. This is the viral video. I don't know how it became viral, but the video is viral. I don't understand how. It has close to 60,000 views. You can view after this session. Like, you can comment too. So without further ado, I've already taken a lot of time, and I'd like to go straight into work, right? And firstly, error management is a very critical part of software development in any part of software development, right? Because software development does not only deal with coding. You have it in it's not only deal with coding, but at the level of programming and coding, there are a lot of things that we have to put in our mind. We have to we are writing code, and one of those main things are errors. Errors. You always get an error. And left to me, if you don't get an error in your code, that means you are not coding. Yes. If you don't get an error in your code, sincerely, you are not programming. You have not sat down for close to 10 hours plus trying to find a semicolon, trying to find an import that was not imported while you were developing, trying to find an error that you don't even understand that is coming from space. Just know that you have not even started programming. Yes. Because as far as development is concerned, there will always be errors. And yes, though there will be errors, there are ways that we can be able to debug, right? When there are errors, that is when we go through the process of debugging. So debugging is now the process whereby we go through the code line by line, each step that we took in order to find out where did we go wrong. Please, hope we are there. If you are there, laughing emoji, please. Laughing emoji. Nice. Thank you guys for being active. So, like I was saying, debugging is very, very important. I was saying that it is a step-by-step process through which we go through our code in order to find any pitfalls, any faults, any errors that might have occurred during the development process. Firstly, I would like to start with code and missing imports, right? So at the level of missing imports, I believe that most of us have realized that anytime that we want to get a package, anytime that we install a package, say for example, you install a package in order to validate your forms. You guys are going to see those things very soon. You want to validate some of your forms, and you will need a package from npm in order to validate that form, which might be Zod. So once you use that package in your code, what happens next? You'll find out that there can be squiggly lines that show up. So I'm going to show you in the code right now to demonstrate what we're talking about. Now, when we talk about missing imports, first of all, you see the point saying missing import, wrong import path, importing a default export as a named import. Those are different scenarios. Changing a constant value, missing brackets, commas, and parentheses. Those are other syntax errors, right? For example, you are missing a semicolon, you are missing a bracket, you are missing a brace in your code, which you take 2 days, 5 days, 7 days just to realize that the error that you got was from one semicolon. So who has experienced that? Like, you are going through your code and you notice that it's one semicolon that is missing that has held you for the past how many hours? Yes. Yes. You should experience it. You need to experience it, right? So those are the scenarios that those are those kind of scenarios that will show you Pepe. They will show you Pepe. And no matter how experienced you can be, I can say that even our boss here, Mr. Martin, has experienced it. Even now, maybe he has even experienced it. Semicolon, maybe a semicolon has also heard him somewhere. No matter how experienced he is, he must have also experienced that kind of issue. Another one is typo in variable or function name. So let's I like practical. So we'll hop into the code and start and look at this. So code missing imports. All right. So let's look at the code. Okay. Good. Please, can you see my code editor?
Please, can you zoom in?
Okay, let me zoom.
Yes, that's better. And you can reduce that side. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we are good, right? You can see that. Let me even do it again. Voila. Good. So this is a pre-written code, right? So just for the sake of being fast, because there are so many scenarios that we have to go through, right? And in order for this session to be interactive, man must see the code, right? And this scenario is, in fact, let me first of all ask the question, right? So you answer in the message section. First person to answer. Look at this code and tell me what is missing. Look at this code, tell me what is missing. First of all, even the name is even showing a lot of, the name is even showing things, but what is missing? It's a missing import scenario, but what exactly is missing? Okay, one person says React import. Yes, I'm waiting. Next, more, coming. Okay, Lily says use state import. Again, we have use state import. Remember, this is already a setup project. Everything has been set up. Now we're just looking at different scenarios in our code, right? Yes, use state import. Yeah, we also have React import. Very good, that's true. That's still good. Okay, so what is missing is the use state import, right? The use state import. As you can hear, we have export default function, missing import scenario, cons. We have the count, set count, use state. So where is this use state coming from? So if you press control space, right? You will always notice that it will propose imports for you. So you have use state here. So you guys were correct. It shows that we were missing an import use state. So after clicking control space bar. So you get to where click on it, control space bar, and now you can see that when you hover over your use state, you can see that it now gives you some metadata about that use state function that you have. But if you comment this out, you will see that if you hover over use state, it will just tell you that any, right? It will just tell you that any. But when you now import it, it starts giving you metadata about that use state function that you have. Now, okay. So let's go to, so now that this is the missing import, let us import it in our app.jsx, right? So as you can see that these are different scenarios which I've already predefined. So missing import scenario, control Z. So now we have imported a missing import scenario in here. Let us now open our browser. I just presented this whole window. Okay. So what does let me do Control C. We clear this. Then we are going to do an npm run def. Good. So we are in. So back to the missing imports. When we comment this out, comment that out. And go to the browser. Hey. Network. Oh.
We cannot see your browser. Are you sharing the entire screen or just the VS Code?
Oh, you're not seeing the browser.
Yeah, I think you should share your entire screen.
Let me share my entire screen. Okay. Screen one. Okay, we are in now. Okay. Please, can we see the browser? Man. Let me bring this in this way. Okay, can we see the browser now?
Yes, we can see the browser. Maybe you can align the browser and the code side by side so that it will help us to be able to.
That's true.
I think a majority, like 70% for the code, 30% for the browser. Since we'll be doing more of the code. Yeah.
Okay. Voila. Are we there, guys? So I've split my screen now so we can see the two ends. So yeah, this is the React application running on the browser. And
sorry, Cyril. One more thing.
Yes.
Can you increase the size of your console?
Okay.
Yeah, I can just Control plus so it increases this font size. One more. Yeah, okay, cool. I think so everybody can be able to see it well. Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you.
All right. So like I was saying, now we have our missing import scenario like we had here, right? So we have settled the import, right? We have settled the import here with the use state. Now, what we have to do, what we do now is that we have imported into the app.js, which is the main file. Now, after importing it, after bringing it here so that we see the scenario, we now get an error, right? It said uncut reference error. Missing import scenario is not defined at app.jsx :71:14, right? So what it says here is, so what it is saying here is that this missing import scenario is not defined, or is that we cannot find this missing import scenario in app.jsx, right? This is one important thing when when it comes to development. You should always read the error. Please, if you got that laugh, you should always read the error. Right? Yes. Always read the error. Because even during the last boot camp where we're acting as co-trainers, most of the mentees at that time had this particular issue, which was to read the error. Like they always feel like the error is not important, so let us remain in the code, let us try different things in the code. You sweat. If it's that you want to take the code as, if it's that you want to only update your code or refactor your code, keep on changing things in your code without reading what exactly the problem is, then you might sleep there. So here it has already given us the answer, right? It has given us the answer, but in a different grammar. So missing import scenario is not defined. So what do? We simply come to missing import scenario, right? Either you click on the control space bar, like I said already, control space bar. Yeah, you have to click on the import. You do the control space bar. You will now see that it will give you a proposal. Say missing import scenario from this folder, scenarios and missing import. So we click there, and you notice that our app.jsx now displays. We can now see our app.jsx displaying correctly now with no errors. So like I was saying, either you click control space bar. Let me remove all these my commented imports that I did already. Either you click the control space bar or you decide to do the import manually. But I recommend you do the control space bar so you are much more productive, right? Since there are so many shortcuts that VS Code offers for you. Okay. Now, next thing. What I should do? Then now we have undefined scopes and errors. So this is another interesting part when it comes to debugging and error management, right? You should be able to now, there are errors which are caused by using variables that are not defined, calling undefined functions, accessing variables outside their scope. Oh, let me enlarge this so you can see properly. Yep. So calling undefined functions, accessing variables outside their scope, forgetting to return a value from a function. Okay. So let us see that in code, right? Let us see that in code. So good. Please, I hope we're active. We're active. Yeah, we're active. Thank you. These guys, you both know. Those who are sending the laughing emoji, that's good. Oh no. So undefined scope scenario, good. So now are we there? So look at this code, right? Please, guys, look at the code. Tell me in the messages what is wrong with it. What is the problem? Use your super eyes. You guys are big React developers. You should catch it. It's already written in the code, but you should catch it. So we have 10 seconds. Check it out. 10 seconds. Counting already. 10, 9, 8. Okay, the question is, look at the code, right? Go through the code. Go through the code and tell me what is the problem? What is going on? Look at the code. Tell me what the problem is. 10 seconds. Countdown is going. Okay. 2, 1. Good. Okay. Nice. So, actually, Cynthia, I think thought is not defined. Adamu says thought not defined. Thought not defined. Very good, guys. Very good. So, as you can see in the code here, we see thought, right? It has written everything so nice and sweet, but here we have, maybe we have something here, P. What is happening here? We don't know, right? Now, let us go to our browser. So in case you do not see what I did there, you can do clear, right? Anytime that you're in the browser, if you want to clear the console, you can be able to click on clear, right? You can type this command so that you clear the whole console, so it's clean. So good, guys, good. If you look at the code, well, you notice that thought is not defined, right? There is nowhere in here that somebody has said, let's say const thought, whether it's thought equals 0, right? You see? I say, what's going on? So there is no way that this thought has been. Wait. Oh, sorry for that, guys. So there's no way that thought has been defined. And if we come now to our app.jsx where I commented this scenario, so this is undefined scope, right? So we do a control X and do a control V. What have I done? You see? Now see the red lines now. As well we are going through. We are going through every day. So now we want to see our. So let's clear this. So we want to see our undefined scope variable. We want to see what happens when this undefined scope variable is brought into the app.jsx. So let's move from here. Only red. So comment this. Okay, good. So what are they saying? JSX expressions must have one parent element. Okay, guys, they are saying that JSX expressions must have one parent element. I don't plan to ask this question, but how do I solve this? Voila. Okay. Then it says put it in a div. Yeah. Put it in a div. Put it in a div. So either we put it in a div elements. What happened to my... I should use a fragment. Good. Voila. So now it's Lydia and Kingsley. Yeah. If only one bottle of top. So yeah, we'll put it either we put it in a div or we put it in a fragment. Sincerely, I like fragments. They just look nice. So I'll put it in a fragment now so we don't see that error again. So now we have our undefined scope scenario. And as you can see, we have not imported the undefined scope scenario. We do our control space bar. We now get it in. Good. Now, please, guys, are we seeing? Are we seeing? Voila. Yes, we are seeing. So, as it tells us here that tot L is not defined at undefined scope scenario, right? Tot L is not defined at undefined scope scenario. So it means inside undefined scope scenario, we are missing something. Either we are missing something or something is not supposed to be there. You wise now? Either we are missing something or something is not supposed to be there. So let's now take advantage of what the console has given us. This link here. So let's click on it and see what they give us. Good. So guys, are we seeing the magic? Are we seeing the magic? Good. So we have clicked on that link and it has taken us to undefined scope scenario where we have this thought here. Or most of these whites, they call this squiggly red lines. So I don't know, they call it squiggly. So as you can see, it says thought underlined in red. So if we hover over this red, it says on code reference error, thought is not defined. As easy as that. We have caught the error, and how do we solve it? Either it was needed, so we do a control. So do a control. When you're in the app, you can do a control and you click, or you simply go and look for the folder yourself in this left-hand side. So if you will see that, if you notice, you will see that we have this thought here, and in our browser, it tells us that it is not defined. It has not been defined. So either we don't need it, we remove it. Since we remove. And you see our guy displays back our wonderful UI, right? Our wonderful UI comes back to life. Are we there, guys? Are we there? Good. So yeah, so that's a scenario when it comes to undefined scope scenarios, right? Yeah. So now we have been able to find get another error. I like the way you guys are spotting the issues. So let's ride on. Let's ride on. Good. Close all of this. Good. Let's ride on. So let's enter our next. Okay, guys. Hope you. I like. If whether people will just be reacting. I like. If you can even talk, you can talk. Let it be a good session. You can talk. So let's see. We have done. So we have looked at code and missing imports. We have looked at undefined scopes and error and an example. Now we are moving to state and prop errors, right? State and prop errors. State is state management. State management is one of the most fundamental concepts, right? When it comes to development in React, Next.js, when you get to that level, yeah, yes, you must be pros in React. When you enter those things, you start seeing all of that. But so I want to just say state management props are very important when it comes to to development. They are very important concepts. So what errors can arise from at the level of accessing props that were never passed, right? If you create a prop in a component which was not, if yeah, this never option only. Good. Yeah. So if you want to, example, you want to access a property or a prop from a component when you never even defined it in that component, or you want to send, you want to access a property that was never passed from a component, right? You obviously get an error. You obviously get an error. And if you want to mutate state directly, instead of using the set state, right? Instead of using this guy, instead of using set state, just know that you are looking for errors, you're looking for problems, right? Because state, if you want to manipulate state, if you want to change the state of a variable, change the state of something in React, you need to use the set state hook. You need to use the set state hook. So another people like code, so let us go directly inside code at once. Let us enter the code, and we see here we have a scenario I already put in place. Note that these are let me not say implement wrong. They are so implement wrong. Increment. So once again, let me add the time. Maybe people, let me put like 20 seconds or 15 since there's no time. We have a lot of time to. Okay, guys, are we there? Are we there? Voila. Good. So now what is the problem in this code? Guys, your time starts now, 15 seconds. What is the problem in this code? Oh. Okay. Nobody has said anything. Okay, you can't see. Oh, sorry. Let me can I see now? Let me just reduce a little. Yes, this is the full code. This is the full code. Sorry for that. Let's start it back. 15 seconds, please. Okay. So, right. So, as you can see here, at this level, count plus plus. Are we there? Nothing is passed to, yeah. Nothing is passed to increments. Nothing is passed to access the increment method. Nothing is passed to increment the not really. I changed count. So I changed counts. Without using set counts. Good. So yeah, Kingsley, you said nothing is passed to access the increment method, right? At this level, the increment function doesn't take any arguments or any parameters. It does not take any arguments here. So we don't have an issue at that level. So it just has a logic. It just has logic in it that he has to implement. So Lizzie says we change count without using set count. That's good. That's good. So we change we we are trying to implement this. We're trying to increment count without using the set count, which is wrong. We have to use, since we have already defined our use state hook, and we have put the initial value in the form of a property, we have to now be able to, we need to access or change that count using the set count method. So instead of doing a count plus plus, right, we need to use a set count. So let us see what happens. Even me, I don't know what happened. Hey, so let's see what happens when so let's see what happens when we run that code. So control, we have passed our initial count already. So let's put it in. Set our initial count. And we have to import it too. So control space bar, we import. So yeah, it will. So as you can see, it doesn't really give. Let me refresh. Let me go back. So we're trying to implement directly, which is wrong. NO. So you don't access you don't try to change such a variable without using the set count. So instead of doing a count plus plus, so you see these are those kind of errors that they will not even display on your browser. But logically, in order to be correct, this one has not even displayed on our browser. So what we do? These are the times that you have to be able to read the React documentation. These are those times that you have to make sure you get to the React documentation and make sure that when you are programming, you have to make sure that you are doing the correct imports, making sure that making sure that you are writing the code correctly, you are using the hooks correctly. So what we need to have here instead of count plus plus is what? You have to set, this AI autocomplete has just coming out. So what do we have to do? We have to set counts. We have to set the counts, and we pass a count to it using the arrow function. And what do? We now increment that count, right? As simple as that. So now we'll be able to properly do an index. So any other question, just keep it. Let's continue. Let's continue. So good. Now, are we there, guys? Are we there? Please, if I'm fast, I better tell me. If I'm fast, please notify me so that I can slow down. Okay, so next. Array and object access errors. Array and object access errors. This one is very common, right? It's very common most of the time when it comes to, especially at the level of backend development. I see these errors back to back, especially when you're trying to access an array, an object, which has whose length is more than another. Let's say you are trying to access data at. Hope you guys are hearing, okay, good. So you're trying to access data, let's say at index 10 on an array that is having a length of 3. I'm sure you can already imagine what happened. You're trying to access data at index 10 of an array, whereas that array is of length 3. You don't just understand where you are trying to get your own 10 from, where you're going to get your own data from. You have to create data from space. So those are some errors that will mostly occur will be like undefined or null. So you are out of index access in arrays, accessing properties of undefined or null, or incorrect destructuring. So straight to the code, right? Straight to the code. Let's go to our scenario. So array object access, right? This is my best time when you guys are the ones debugging. Good. So let's just say username. So guys, timer has started. What's the issue? What's the problem with this code? Timer has started. 15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds. 15 seconds, guys. What's going on? There is it. As if 15 seconds is fast. Are we there? Yes. Yes. What is the issue in this code? Messages. Send your messages. Acha Cynthia says wrong index number. Acha Cynthia says wrong index number. It has to be 0. Let's give the others a chance. Let's give the others a chance to say something. Hello. The array has just one element and index 0. That's known for precious. Then John, space between user and name. Space between user and name. Okay, I see what you mean. So you mean this space between user and name, or I'm not getting it right? Even if we join it here, there's nothing will happen. So, okay. So I like the answers from Cynthia. Cynthia is giving a good answer. Correct answer. Precious, you're correct. Adamu says you didn't use ID and instead used the value. I didn't use ID and instead use the value. Well, yeah, you are right. Yeah, not really, right? Because now we are trying to access a particular we're trying to access a particular user, right? We're trying to access a particular user. So if we want to access a particular user, we need to get the index of that user, right? We need to get the index of that user. So this is where using the console log, right? Using the console log comes to play. So let us first of all go into our nice looking UI. All right, let's go to our nice looking UI. Go to our app.jsx and we uncomment this. So we are looking at array object access. Okay, that's our next scenario. This is our next scenario. Okay. And remember, guys, your console is your friend. Your browser console is your friend. Very, very good friend when it comes to this. Very, very good friend. So it tells us that on code reference error, so we have to import, control, spacebar, you get the import is in, right? So, are we there, guys? Are we there, please? Are we there? Laugh, 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 please. Good, 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 good. We're there, we're there, we're there. Good. So, I need you guys always be there, especially when we're on the browser, right? So it says here, cannot read properties of undefined reading name at array object access scenario. Array object access scenario.jsx 631. So before we go further, I hope, what does this mean? What does this, where is it? What does this mean, guys? What does this mean? Look at this. It said array object access scenario.jsx, that's the file name. Then it still goes again, colon 6, colon 31. What does that mean? Okay, Lily says line 6. She says line 6. More answers, please. More answers, more answers. Line 6, column 31. Line 6, column 31. Okay. Line 6, character 36. Nice. Nice. Line 6, character 36, or rather 31, rather. Yeah, 31. Line 6 and line 31. Okay, that's actually Cynthia. Line 6 and line 31. Okay, that's nice. Thank you for answering, guys. So, Lydia says line 6, column 31. Line 6, column 31. So, we have clicked on that link, right? And we have what? We have line 6. It has showed us here line 6. So we are correct at that level. Those who said line 6, Kingsley, adjacent here, we are correct. So let's see. Lily says column 31. Sincerely, I've never counted to know whether it's how many columns or how many characters. So I don't even know. I just see it there and say, okay, line 6. I always go to line 6 and look at it there, right? But I believe that line, when you see line is always the best. It's always very easy. But you say column 31. Let's see if we can count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah. Actually, these are actually, because these are lines. Lines are like rows. Then columns. Columns are the ones that come straight like that now. So I think then Kingsley says character 31. So it's either a column or a character, right? Because if we count from columns, if we count columns, you see it is 31. If we still count characters, it is still 31. So I guess you two are almost there, because yeah, we just have to search. You just have to search and see which one is correct. Then after Cynthia, yeah, you were correct with the line, right? Correct. But line 31 does not even exist. So these are lines. Lines are like rows. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So as you can see, we have ended there. So there's no other line again, right? There's no other line again. So it is not line 31. Okay, good. So let's go back. That was an aside, and I'm sure, but I hope it was helpful too. So yeah, let us go back to our error. Let's not dodge our error. So it says cannot read properties of undefined. Cannot read properties of undefined, right? So what is it saying? You cannot read a property of something that is not existing. Simple. Who got that wisdom? Who got that wisdom? You cannot read something or something that is not existing, right? It simply doesn't exist. So, you know, we count indexes from, so array, we count indexes from what? We have from, these are indexes, please. We have index 0, index 1, index 2, right? So let me comment this out before you disturb us. So we have from indexes. So this first guy is the index 0, index 1, index 2, right? You can go to data structures, learn more about arrays, learn more about different data structures and how they are used, and there are different indexes. So we have array index 0, but we have, what is here is an object, which is in which part of the array? The 0th position. The 0th position. And what is the length of this array? What's the length of the array? One. Good. I want here someone talks it. I want here someone talk 2. So so it is 1. Yes, 1. The length of the user array is 1. See, so now we are trying to get user at position 1. Do we have a user at that position? No. So this is how we are lengthening the, we are actually lengthening the debugging process, right? Right now we're actually debugging, we're actually lengthening the debugging process, which is yeah, it's long, but because I'm explaining. But when you be developing, you see that this kind of things, it will take you like a split second to just realize that, oh, I've used this this index instead of this index. I've placed this index instead of this index. The length of this array is less, but I've used a greater number. So yeah, so what we are supposed to do is, as you can see so what we are supposed to simply do is we have to access the first user. So instead of putting 1, we put a 0. As we can see now, our SN displays properly, right? Yeah. So we can clap for ourselves. We have found the error. I found the error there. Yes. And when you always find the error, it's sweet, eh? When you find an error, it's sweet. It's tasting. So next, man, there are so many scenarios. I also like that able to experience more. When you experience more, you can get to me so that we experience it together or cry together if you need somebody to cry with. So now we get to JSX rendering errors. JSX rendering errors. This one is at the level of mostly the client side. Anytime you want to render a component, you want to render you want to render mostly components, you want to render tags, render elements. There are mostly some errors that occur. So at this level, so you're returning multiple elements without a wrapper. This point we saw such an error at this level, at the level of the app.js here, when we try to use these guys in here without the fragments. You see, so as you can see now, we have commented out the fragment, and you can see it's saying error. What's the error? It says JSX expressions must have one parent element. Are we seeing, guys? JSX expressions must have one parent element, meaning that inside you either we have only one and only one import, right? Control Z. So either we have one and only one import inside here. We remove this. We remove the fragments. Yes. So if we have one and only one inside here, you see that there's no error. But let's do a Control Z. see that when we remove the fragments, we have the error, and it's telling us that JSX expressions must have one and only one parent. So meaning that all of them must be inside one parent. Not they should not be independent, right? It should not be independent. Just like you, like us developers, we cannot work alone. We are not an island. As developers, we need to be able to collaborate. You see the metaphor I'm using there. So you see, no import is working alone. Just like us developers, we should not work alone. Work with your fellow developers. Be able to ask questions to them. So we're going to put back our fragments, and you see that no errors any longer. So we have no errors. Now, next point, trying to render values like objects, right? Say, for example, you want to render an object inside. You want to render an object inside. You have to render an object without using JSX. Without using JSX. All right. So let's do that. Let's try that. Let's create a file. Let's say render JSX dot JSX. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. Just to remind you to speed up a bit in case you have some.
Okay, I'll speed up. Okay.
Thank you. But the recording will still be available for everybody to follow.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm good. Okay, so yeah, we created this, so we just do an REFCE. For those who don't have this, you have to download the. All right, let me see. So you have to do RAFCE. So that's a shortcut in order to create a React arrow function and also export the component. Right. So render JSX. Say for example, you can't come in here. You cannot come inside a component and try to render, say for example, users. Let's go back to this listing. Let's copy these users inside here. Render JSX, right? So this is what I'm saying. JSX, you cannot simply return users like this, right? You need to be able to send it in the tags. To send it in their correct tags, send it as JSX. JSX is the HTML and the JavaScript together. This one, you have only the JavaScript that you are returning, right? So let's now get into the code to see an example of what I'm also talking about. So we're looking at JSX rendering, missing imports, concept. Yeah. So in fact, let's just say this. So div, let's create a div. And we also come and create a p tag. Then we come and create what again? Let's create h2 tag. So yeah, just like how I explained it on the app.js, you see that it still gives us the same error, right? Div must have a corresponding closing tag. All of them need to be inside one, which is a fragment. Yeah. So missing key props in lists. Same thing here in here. Say for example, you have a number of users, ID, so and name, ID. So yep. So obviously let's return a fragment in here. So I'll have the error. Hey. Users dot map yes, this. No, this is already 7. Okay. So means that if you want to render this in here, right, you must always have the key. So what it's saying here is that missing key props in list. Say you want to map these users, you want to map all these users and display them, say on a table or something, and you have created a component. Let's say the component was div, and you want to render. You want to render all of those users. So you should make sure that you don't always miss out the key of that user, right? So make sure that anytime that you are rendering all component rendering users, you should be able to pass in the key of that user. So just for the sake of time, let's just move. I believe that you guys really understood what I'm trying to explain. Please, if you're not understood, we will still get back to it at the end. So you have to always make sure that you always pass in the key of the list you want to render. Then let's move on to one of the last points, which is environment and configuration errors. Environment and configuration errors. This is the final one. So this one has to deal with, say for example, you are trying to access a secret code or secret link or password that you help you to connect maybe to a database, to connect to some third-party services, right? And in order to access them, you actually need to have a configuration, configure using your password, the link, so that you can be able to get it. So let's go straight to the code. Now we see that, okay. So now, looking at this Focal Plus and also looking at this section, right? Look at the code and look at this section. Look at the code and look at this section here. It says that, what is it saying? It's saying that missing environment, let's say, so it's saying that this is a function to check for a particular configuration. And it says if this app URL is not available, it should throw a new error, which is missing environment variable, demo API URL. So it's missing a variable. So let me not show you that part. Oh my God, what I've done. I really read all these things. So so as you can see, let us run it at once in our app.js here. Let's run it at once. So this is the scenario. So environment, blah, blah, blah. Then we do our control space bar, we import it. Let's get back in here. So as you can see, Let's clear this. Refresh. Reference error. Array object scenario. This one is still that. So we do not import this. So it's got so good. So guys, please, are we there? Are we active? Active. Okay. Thank you. So now we see here that it says missing environment variable with demo API URL, API URL. Environment config scenario.jsx line 5, whether it's column or character level, as we say we'll research on that, right? So we enter here. Line 5, look, this is line 5. Line 5 is throwing an error saying that this API URL is not available because it says if this API is not there, throw this error. So it has thrown an error and tell us I'm missing environment variable with the demo URL. So guys, how do we solve this error? How do we solve this error, right? So look in here. We are missing something inside our folder, our file. We're missing something. Timer has started. We are missing something. We are missing something. We are missing something. We are missing something. Are we there? Are we there? We are missing something at the level of the folder. Something is missing. Okay. Just for the sake of time. Yeah. I see you thinking, Ashu. I see you thinking. So what we are missing here. So what we are missing here is something that is very vital as far as development is concerned, and it is the environment variable, the environment file, right? Which is a .env file. .env file. So this .env file always, in fact, it contains our secrets, right? All our secrets, even the secrets that you have about stealing your mother's chicken from the pot. All this env contains all your secrets. You put it inside your password. Those who stole chicken from the pot, all the password is written inside this .env. So this .env is always found in the root of the project. So let's move it to the root. I created in the general folder. So we always have it in the root of the project, right? And they told us that vit demo API URL is missing. So let's say we have gotten our vit demo API URL, right? So we have to now copy. Say we have gotten, let's say this is the API. So this is our API password, like the password that we need in order to access our API. All right, so this is the name. So we're going to place it inside our .env file, Control V, and say equals to this is the code, the password. So this password, it can be a link, it can be a link, it can be a string, it can be anything. So most of the things are here to connect to your database, to get access to premium APIs. Maybe you have subscribed to something and they have given you a link that is inserting your env file so that you should be able to connect to their service, right? And make sure that anytime that you have your .env file, it should always be inside this git ignore file. It should always be inside the git ignore file, right? As you can see now, this .env file is looking is not It's not shady, right? Look at it. Look at it. It's not. It says it's clear. It means that when we push everything, this is our .env, all our secrets. Those who stole, those who stole Christmas ching ching, those who not. You see, understand now? All these things we push to GitHub, and everybody that now can be able to access them. So everything, if you are using the .env, make sure that it's always inside the Git ignore file, so that when you push to GitHub, it should not be pushed as well. So always add the .env file inside your Git ignore file, so that so you can push your code to the listen. And now we have added the vid demo API URL, and you can see now we don't have that error. But if you comment it out, you see you will give the same error, and our beautiful UI does not display. So we bring it back. As you can see, we have our beautiful UI displaying. Beautiful UI now displaying. Yep. Yeah, let's clap for ourselves. We have debugged today. Today has been a great session. So now I've come to the end of the session, and yeah, there's so much when it comes to error management and debugging, and I believe this session has been able to at least give us some tips and tricks, right? That's giving us some ways we can be able to find, and maybe some shortcuts, right? And trust me, you still have, this is just 0.1% of what errors or how to manage everything. But I believe that with this, it can be a foundation that you can be able to debug your projects, because I believe that there are projects that are going to be handed over to you guys to work on. So that you can be able to debug, find errors. You don't sweat a lot. You don't spend up to 2 days or 5 days on a single error. And before I forget, this is one important thing that is not actually technical. It is not actually technical. It is more social, right? When it comes to debugging and error management, and it is to ask questions. Ask questions, right? Ask questions. Get to someone. Search online. There are many sites. There's this site that even up to now I still go to the site, Stack Overflow. Whether AI is coming to do what, or still Adam Easy ask AI. I'm even coming to that point. So I'm coming to that point. Ask questions. Get to someone. Search online, and I would say we all know that yes, AI is the latest topic of the day, right? It's the latest. Everything is your AI. When I just get on, you just cry small, then in fact you don't even cry again. You don't cry like we used to cry. But you should cry. You understand? You need to be able to cry so that you will learn and be strong. Because when AI was not there, when I started JavaScript, I looked at JavaScript like this. I looked at it. You look at the errors, your eyes are red. 5 days. When we're doing data structures and algorithm, you spend up to 10 days trying to solve something when AI was not there. Stack Overflow usually did not even have answers to most of the assignments that our done lecturers used to give us. So what I would advise is that as far as AI is concerned, it is not for you at this early age. Let me not say early age, some of you are even older than me. This is your early beginning of development, right? You should be able to code more on your own debug in those OG ways, those OG ways. Search online, ask people, get to people, ask questions, right? Right. Please take note of these 3 points that I've given to you guys. And yes, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you guys very much for being patient with me. And I hope I hope the session was a good one. I hope that some people are not sleeping. I know that people sleep.
Thank you, Cyril. Please, let's send more emojis. In fact, let's destroy the screen with emojis for him. Because if I see clap now, some people will be catching their cover pots in the name of hands. I love that. Thank you very much, Cyril. Thank you very much for taking our time. Thank you for everyone who has been patient. And I think this has been a very interactive session. People have really asked questions and given some points. So 2 minutes, 2 people, 2 questions. And it must not be specifically on error logging and debugging. So if you have any two persons who want to ask him any question, but don't ask him for money. I know it's Christmas time. Yeah. So if I need to, I actually wanted to ask for money. Yes, Kingsley, please make it short. Kingsley, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sirs, Engineer CV. It's really a privilege. Thank you so much for so much knowledge. The question that I have is related to this point that I heard about React Developer Tool. I think